Dodgers are in Arizona. That would be on the 8th of September. So John Garland, with a record of 8-11, will make one of his 2 starts against his old club. The last time that we can figure out somebody went from one dressing room to another here, if you go back to about 1992, you may remember an outfielder named Stan Javier. His dad, Julian Javier, played for a long time. Stan Javier was a member of the Dodgers. And one night in 1992, Javier was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. So he walked across the hall and suddenly became a member of the Phils. The worst walk across the hall story I've ever heard of was many years ago. The Dodgers were in Old Crosley Field in Cincinnati to play a doubleheader against the Reds. And the Brooklyn Dodgers were then managed by Charlie Dressen. They had an outfielder named Cal Abrams. And Cal Abrams, for one reason or another, from the minute the game began, he got on the Cincinnati manager, Luke Sewell, and he called Luke everything imaginable. And Charlie Dressen said, "Hey, that's great. AB, as they called him, stay on him." So for 9 innings, Cal Abrams chewed out the manager of the Cincinnati Reds, Luke Sewell. And when first game ended, the Dodgers went back in the dressing room, and Dressen said to Abrams, "Cal, I'm here to inform you you've just been traded to the Cincinnati Reds." And he had to walk across the hall and meet the manager on whose fanny he had been chewing on for the whole first game. That's the worst across the hall story I think that I can remember. Meanwhile, the Dodgers not only crossed the hall, they crossed the lines, and they'll be facing this lineup. A last-minute change for Arizona. Stephen Drew leads off, and Ryan Roberts bats second, with Miguel Montero moving up to bat third. Mark Reynolds hits cleanup. The big change, Justin Upton has a contact lens issue and unable to play. Following Reynolds, you have Brandon Allen, Gerardo Parra in left field, Chris Young in center, Alex Romero is in right field, taking over for the absent Upton, and on the mound will be Billy Buckner. On the mound for the Dodgers is the right-handed John Garland, 6'6", 215 pounds. John will be 30 years old the end of the month. He was born in Valencia, grew up in Granada Hills, graduated from Kennedy High School in Granada Hills, from an area in the San Fernando Valley that produced people like Jack McDowell and Brett Saberhagen, Garrett Anderson as well, and maybe his closest pal for all those years he spent with the White Sox would be the pitcher Mark Burley of Perfect Game fame. For John Garland, he was traded from the Cubs to the White Sox, then from the White Sox to the Angels, filed for free agency, and in January of this year signed a deal to go with the Diamondbacks. Joe Torre, who knows all about being a player, made a wise remark. He makes plenty of them, but he made a particularly wise remark about John Garland pitching against his former teammates. His first pitch to Stephen Drew was a strike, and Joe said, "I just hope he concentrates on the uniform and not the guy wearing it." And of course that could make it more impersonal. The strike one pitch on the way is a fastball foul down the line. 0-2 the count. The temperature right now 86 degrees. For John Garland, he has turned around, making his second career start at Dodger Stadium. He started off slowly with Arizona, but he has picked it up. Right-hander ready, and the strike two pitch is a hopper grounded into right field for a base hit. So a no ball, 2-strike base hit to right field begins the night for Garland and for the D-backs. Let's take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. Ramirez, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. The infield, Blake and Furcal, Belliard at second, and Loney, and the battery of Garland and Martin. And the batter now is Ryan Roberts. Ryan Roberts hitting .292. He has 6 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Dodgers have to keep an eye on Drew. He has stolen 4 out of 5. And Roberts checks in, waiting. Garland set at the belt. Doesn't look over much. Now turns ready and deals. And the first pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Drew, with the base hit, is 2 for 11. Ryan Roberts is 0 for 6 in the last 2 games. Roberts, heavily tattooed. Only the strong survive. That's his code of living, and that's tattooed on his arms along with his initials, RR. Strike one pitch on the way. Roberts fouls it away at the plate, and the count 0-2, which was the same count he had on Stephen Drew. Talking about John Garland, his first 10 games break even, and his earned run average was 5.7. Since that time, he's improved to a degree where his earned run average is 3.5. So John Garland wearing number 21. We look back through the books. Who was the most famous name in Dodger history to wear 21? And it is a famous name, albeit a name that flourished in Brooklyn. How about Dazzy Vance? Now, unless you have a baseball history book out, that might not mean much, but Dazzy Vance was an incredible pitcher for the Dodgers. Wore it in 1935. So he has inherited a number with a great history back of it. 0-2 the count to Ryan Roberts with Miguel Montero on deck. Garland, right foot in the trench in front of the rubber, and the strike 2 pitch on the way, down and away, ball 1. Basically, with Garland, a 2-seam fastball, a lot of sink to it, hard curve. He has a changeup and a slider. He had a mutual option for next year with Arizona. So we'll wait and see about that. Garland looks down the barrel to get a sign. 1-2 the count. Drew at first. We're just starting. Garland ready. Here he comes. Line drive. Speared by Furcal. Wow. Rafael Furcal reaches up to backhand a bullet heading for left field. So 1 out. Drew is holding at first, and the batter will be Miguel Montero. That thing was a blur, and Furcal up in the air to backhand it for the out. So 1 away as Roberts, frustrated, goes back into the dugout. Looked like a sure base hit. And the batter now, the left-hand hitting catcher Miguel Montero, who is more impressive each time you see him. Hitting .296, left-hand hitting catcher, 4 for 11 in the series. He has hit safely in 7 straight, and he takes a pitch low, ball 1. Under these circumstances, I always remember an old catcher, Bertie Tebbetts, saying the philosophy has always been for catchers, I can hit anybody I caught. Well, we'll see about Montero facing Garland. Miguel from Caracas in Venezuela, 26 years old. Garland set at the belt, quickly turns, throws to first. Diving back is Stephen Drew. So if you joined us a little late, Garland went 0-2 on Drew, who then spanked one into right field for a base hit. Went 1-2 on Roberts, who hit a bullet and a leaping backhand catch by Furcal. Light breeze blowing out to right. Garland said, John delivers, and the fastball is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Last year, Garland had a rough time. And remember, you're talking about a fella who had back-to-back years where he won 18. Last year, he won 14, but his numbers were far from impressive. His ERA was almost 5, and left-handers hit 300 against him. Right-handers hit 307. Montero fouls a pitch away, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Left-handers last year hit 16 home runs against him, and the right-handers hit 7. So John, very deliberate, taking plenty of time. Came up to the White Sox in 2000 and stayed with them through 07. So he was with them for 8 years. Then 1 year with the Angels, and this year with the D-backs. Two balls and 1 strike to count to Miguel Montero. Mark Reynolds on deck. Now Garland set. Stephen Drew cautious lead at first. The pitch to Montero is off the plate, and a 3-ball 1-strike count to the catcher. Not only has Montero got a 7-game hitting streak, he's hit safely in 18 of 20. So Garland has to really watch him, and he has to keep an eye on Stephen Drew, especially a 3-1 count. Garland is set. Drew does not go, and the pitch is high, ball 4. So for John Garland, he is very fortunate that Rafael Furcal was able to handle that blur. Came off the bat of Ryan Roberts. So 2 on, 1 out, and Mark Reynolds, who is the poster boy for the feast or famine hitter. Mark Reynolds with 40 home runs, and he has struck out 181 times. Last year, Mark struck out 204 times, and he checks in now against Garland. John in a little trouble here. First and second, 1 out, first inning, and Garland delivers, flips the first one a little high, ball 1, 1-0 the count. The D-backs in the beginning of the year, first 8 meetings, the Dodgers won 6 of the 8, but Arizona's turned it around. They've won 4 of the last 5 from the Dodgers. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Mark Reynolds. Fastball, line drive, base hit into left field. Drew is around third. Manny will not even try to get him. So Drew scores. Stopping at second is Montero. And Arizona is on the board, leading 1-0 as Mark Reynolds comes up with a line drive single and a run batted in. So a very shaky start for John Garland as Reynolds drills it. Reynolds, by the way, was just 1 for 13 in the series and 1 for 17 in his last 4 games. So a base hit, run batted in, and with 2 on, leading 1-0. The D-backs now bring up the big rookie Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen last night hit a first pitch from Chad Billingsley halfway up the pavilion in right field. He is a big boy, 6'2", 235. Arizona looks at him and they think of him somewhat as a model for big Ryan Howard of Philadelphia. So we'll see. He is 1 for 9 in the series. Garland set at the belt, looks at the runners, works the left-hand hitter, and it's off the plate. Ball 1. 1-0. So John Garland gave up a single to Drew. Roberts lined out on a leaping catch by Furcal. He walked Montero, and a base hit to Reynolds gives Arizona a 1-0 lead. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way is a fastball for a strike, and the count 1-1. He hits 92 on the gun. His fastball has been clocked as high as 95. So Brandon Allen out of Conroe, Texas, trying to pick up Montero from second, Mark Reynolds from first, and 1 out. Garland set, back he comes, runs one inside, slider or a cutter, one or the other, and a 2-ball 1-strike count. This is the 15th meeting between the two teams. The Dodgers have won 8, and Arizona has won 6. The 2-1 pitch on the way, and Allen hits a comeback. Garland goes to Furcal for 1. Back to Loney, double play. So the double play goes 1-6-3, and at the end of half an inning, Arizona 1, Dodgers A run in the first inning against a former teammate, John Garland. Now the Dodgers will be coming up, and we'll take a look at their lineup card. And it goes this way. Rafael Furcal at short, Matt Kemp in center field, and Andre Ethier in right. Manny Ramirez hits cleanup in left field, and Casey Blake at third base. Then you have James Loney at first, Rafael Belliard's cousin, and that would be Ronnie Belliard at second base. Then you have Bill Martin and Russell behind the plate, Garland on the mound, and Billy Buckner on the hill ready to go after him. Billy Buckner is out of Decatur, Georgia, lives in Conyers, Georgia, went to the University of South Carolina, originally picked by the Kansas City Royals. No relation to the Dodger first baseman and left fielder Bill Buckner, and just called up from AAA Reno on Monday when Chad Qualls went on the 60-day disabled list. And his first pitch to Furcal in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Buckner is 6'2", 215, just turned 26 years old. The right-hander strike one pitch. Furcal takes high, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a pretty important appearance for Buckner, and of course for Furcal, starting off the ball game against him, hitting .255. The 1-1 pitch, Rafael fouls it away. For Buckner, just called up, and he knows he needs to carry over the success he had in Reno. Among other things, he said while at Reno, came up with a cut fastball to put that in. He's also claiming to be more aggressive. The 1-2 over the top pitch is low and inside, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Buckner also knows that Arizona acquired right-hander Kevin Mulvey, and he figures to get a start. Chopper over the mound, charging is Roberts, throws to first in time to get Furcal. So 1 away in the first inning, and the batter will be Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp coming up to the plate, hitting .314. He has 23 home runs, 87 runs batted in. So Buckner and Kemp go head to head, with Arizona leading 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Arizona might have had a lot more, except for Furcal making that leaping catch of the line drive by Ryan Roberts. First pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1 to Kemp. Matt 3 for 11 in the series. Buckner ready, and his strike one pitch swung on and missed. Hard slider down and away. The 0-2 the count. Buckner looks down the barrel to get a sign. Now he's ready. Strike two pitch on the way is on the hands, pulled to short, charging Drew, throws on the run and gets him. So 2 ground balls, and we have 2 out in the first inning, with Andre Ethier coming up. Andre Ethier hitting .285, 27 home runs, 88 runs batted in. Ethier in last night's game went the other way 3 times. As a left-hand hitter, he doubled to left, he singled to short, and he singled to left. Finally got a ball to pull in the 8th inning and hit a bullet right at Brandon Allen, the first baseman. And the first pitch to Andre is outside, ball 1. So 3 for 11 in the series. The club leader with 27 home runs, 88 RBIs, both career highs for Andre. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's low, ball 2, 2-0. Bill Buckner has had 12 starts in his career, and of those starts he's gone 6 or more 5 times. Right-hander ready, and the 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's lifted to left center. Cruising over, however, and waiting for it is Parra, and Gerardo makes the catch for the out. So a couple of ground balls and a fly ball. Dodgers go in order, and at the end of an inning, 1-0 Arizona. 1-0 in favor of Arizona. An inning turned in by young Billy Buckner. And now here comes Arizona with Gerardo Parra, and he takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Gerardo Parra doing very well out there in left field, and he's also 3 for 8 in the series, hitting .287. Garland ready, back he comes, fastball low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Parra over the last 7 games has 9 hits. Garland in his debut as a Dodger gave up a run in the first inning and was saved on the leaping catch by Furcal on the line drive by Roberts and the double play. Parra fouls the pitch away. 1-2 the count to Gerardo from the Dominican Republic. Spells that last name P-A-R-R-A. He's the one who hit a home run in July of this year, his first major league at bat. And right now he hits a soft line drive by a lunging Belliard into right center. So Parra gets a base hit. And needless to say, right now, John Garland, who has to be fighting butterflies, nerves, whatever, certainly emotion, and he has given up 3 hits, a walk, and a run. And the batter now will be Chris Young. Using the term young, you can apply it to the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are the 2nd youngest team in the major leagues behind the Cleveland Indians, and they have the youngest manager, 35-year-old A.J. Hinch. So here is Young, who started out his career and had a brilliant season and struggled ever since. He takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Chris Young, 26 years old, on Saturday, hitting just .188. And he's 3 for 41. Garland said, looks over at first, back to Young, and that's a strike, and the count 0-2. Boy, that is some come down for Chris Young. Remember when he broke in his first year, really, in '07. He had 32 home runs, 68 runs batted in, 27 stolen bases, brilliant rookie year, and he really hadn't been heard from. 0-2 the count. He's from Houston, Texas. Now the strike 2 pitch off the plate, ball 1. Getting back to Young, 3 for 41. That translates to a batting average of .073. He was called back from Reno the end of August. He was tearing up AAA, hitting .370. 1-2 the count for Chris Young. Garland very deliberate now. Here he comes, low and away, ball 2. 2-2 the count. So John has allowed 1 run, 3 hits, plus a walk. Got 2 breaks on the line drive that was caught and the double play. So Young up there, 2-2 the count. Young in his last 16 games has 13 walks. But as so many young players find out, the bridge from AAA to the major leagues is a bridge of size, and so far that's about what Chris has been doing. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Garland ready, here he comes, breaking ball low, ball 3. The Garland obviously fighting it. When you think about it, no matter how many years you played this game, no matter how many years in the big leagues, to just take one uniform off, put on the other, and go back after the other club immediately is really a strain. 3-2, so we'll see about Parr. Young strikes out a lot. Parr does not go, and Young takes strike 3 call. Well, that kind of figured. That's a 103rd strikeout for Chris Young. You know, the Dodgers' annual celebration of Hispanic culture, food, music, and baseball returns Saturday. Viva Los Dodgers, presented by Coca-Cola and Hyundai. Admission included with your ticket to the game. And for more information, visit Dodgers.com/Viva or give us a call, 866-DODGERS. Parra holding at first, 1 out. Alex Romero, big fella, no power, runs very well, hitting .265. And the fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Alec Ramiro making an unexpected start because Justin Upton, who is the young player on this young club, is out, as they told us, a contact issue with the contact lens. So he's in the dugout taking in the ball game, talking to Ryan Roberts. The strike one pitch on the way, and Romero takes low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-0 in favor of Arizona. We're in the second inning. John Garland facing the 25-year-old. He'll be 26 when the Dodgers are in Arizona on Wednesday. Over at first is Parra. Garland set, kind of a closed stance on the mound. Fastball fouled away. Saying closed stance, his right foot is on the first base side of the rubber, and the left foot is in front and facing slightly towards third base. Might not mean much to you, not mean much to me either, but just the way you address the situation on the rubber means a great deal to the pitcher. Garland on and off the rubber, now back on again. And Romero, big fella out of Venezuela. Garland set. Romero, left hand hitter waiting. 1-2 pitch is taken inside. Ball 2. 2-2 the count. Romero in the minor leagues, way back in the Eastern League, he had 15 home runs, but he is not that kind of a player. He has 1 home run this year. Last year he had 1. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, second inning, 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers. Philadelphia beat the Giants today as a ground foul outside of first. The Phillies, Pedro Martinez pitched a gem to outpitch Tim Lincecum, and the Phillies beat the Giants 2-1. And the New York Mets did the Dodgers a favor. They beat Colorado 8-3. So, to use the old expression, the Dodgers are playing house money now. No pressure as the 2 pursuing teams have lost. But what Joe Torre would like to do is get his offense in track. 1-0 Arizona. Second inning, Parra at first. And the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch coming up to Alec Ramiro with Billy Buckner on deck. Romero swings, slaps one down the left field line. It's going to land foul. Not by much, but a fly ball slicing foul. So Romero comes back. Parra will go back to first. If you joined us a little late, Stephen Drew with a no-ball, 2-strike count, single to left field. Roberts hit a line drive, a leaping catch by Furcal. Then Montero walked. Mark Reynolds a ground single to cash in Drew, but as the D-backs do, and as they did the other night when they had the bases loaded and nobody out, they usually get the minimum from a golden opportunity, and sure enough, Brandon Allen came up and hit into a double play. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Romero, just missed by an eyelash of an extra base hit. Left-hand hitter back up and waiting. Garland out of a stretch. Short lead by Parra. And the pitch to Romero. Hard ground ball. Backhanded by Loney. Touches the bag. Throws down for the tag. And they get the double play. Oh, what a wonderful play by James Loney. Once he touched the bag, that removed the force. And he was able to throw accurately to Furcal, who made the tag on Parra. So a double play saves Garland for the second time, and it's still 1-0 D-backs. second inning, and the D-backs are leading 1-0 as Russell Martin huddles with Garland. First time that they have joined forces, and there's a lot of things to go over. Meanwhile, young Billy Buckner out on the mound, who is 1-0 against the Dodgers this year. They saw him back on the 1st of June, and he went 6 innings and shut him out. Buckner, growing up in Georgia, as you can well imagine, was a huge Braves fan, to quote him, and his favorite player was Chipper Jones. And don't you know, he eventually, in '07, finally biding his time, and in 2008, he actually got to pitch to Chipper Jones. His first pitch to Ramirez in for a strike. How'd he come out? Well, Chipper hit a fly ball to left field, and everybody in Georgia knew about Buckner caring for Jones, and he got a ton of phone calls about the confrontation. Manny, meanwhile, a ripping foul down the left field line out of play. 0-2 the count to Manny Ramirez. Manny's had a lot of fly balls, especially during this series, so he's only 3 for 12. One of those fly balls went out, however, for a home run. So Manny waiting, Buckner ready, in the strike 2 pitch on the hands, and a pop fly. Drew backs out on the grass and puts it away. So Ramirez pops it up, 1 down. Manny, of course, fighting to stay above 300, and he was hitting .305 before the out. So 1 down, and Casey Blake coming up. Dodgers hope that Casey has been refreshed. He had the night off last night. Ronnie Belliard took over for him. Casey has been in 126 games, hitting .269, and takes low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Case. Another reason he sat down, the fact that he was 3 for his last 30 at bats. Blake takes 1 low again, ball 2. So in the last 14 games in which he has played, he's hitting about a $160. 2-0 pitch on the way. Blake looks at a strike, and the count 2-1. D-backs lead 1-0. Drew singled, took second on a walk to Montero, and came home on a single by Mark Reynolds. The next pitch is low, ball 3. 3-1. Buckner, who went to school at the University of South Carolina, the reason he wanted to go there, they had been to the College World Series in each of the previous 3 years. Here's the 3-1 pitch, pull foul outside of third down the line, skips up into the stands. 3-2 the count to Casey Blake. Among the many pitches that Billy Buckner has is a knuckle curve, and there it is as Casey Blake goes down on the fastball. So Blake, caught looking, strikes out. James Loney has already made a contribution, and a brilliant one it was, in the second inning on the ball hit by Romero. A diving backhand catch, touching the bag, and on one knee got the accurate throw to Furcal to get Parra. I tell you, there are a lot of first basemen who dread the throw from first to second, trying to throw it around the runner, and there was Loney on one knee making a strike to Furcal. James takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Loney 2 for 10 in this series, and he chases one down below, and the count 0-2. And talking about all the different pitches that Billy Buckner has: fastball, curveball, knuckle curve, slider, changeup, and he just added the cutter. Strike 2 pitch is promptly slapped into left field, base hit. So James Loney on a no ball 2 strike pitch just goes the other way and singles to left. And the batter now, Ronnie Belliard. Hit number 1 given up by Billy Buckner. By the way, in talking about that knuckle curve, you know who taught Billy Buckner to pitch? His father. So Billy trying to make his father proud now as he works on Belliard. Ronnie hitting .245. And the first pitch in the dirt gets behind Montero. And on the wild pitch, down to second goes Loney. So with 2 out, the Dodgers have the tying run in scoring position. For Buckner, a wild pitch. That would be his 6th. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. Montero blocked it, but had no idea where the ball was, and it was directly behind him. So Belliard, right-hand hitter, waiting. And the next pitch drops in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Belliard, as a Dodger, remember, hit a home run his first at bat. He's 1 for 9 since he joined the club. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Buckner delivers a broken bat, flare to center, base hit. Here comes Loney to score, and the Dodgers have tied it up. So James Loney, a no-ball 2-strike base hit to left field, and Ronnie Belliard shatters his bat and gets a base hit to pick him up. It's a 1-1 tie, 2 out, and Russell Martin coming up. So Belliard at first. Loney got the 5s. Anytime you can get a base hit, especially on a no-ball 2-strike pitch, you're doing very well. Out of a stretch now is Buckner. Looks over at Belliard, works Martin, gets a strike. 0-1. Turnabout is fair play. When the game began, Stephen Drew had a no-ball 2-strike count, and he singled to right field and scored. Now the strike 1 pitch to Martin, and that's a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Buckner kind of moving around on the mound. 6'2", 215. Leans in to get a sign. Now he's ready. And the 1-1 pitch to Martin, swung on and missed. 1-2. Hard slider. Boy, you talk about late break. That thing suddenly jumped. Came in at 85 according to the speed gun. 1-2 the count. When you look at it on TV, it's so slow that you do not get the impact at all of real time. Now the 1-2 pitch, swung on, a little roller, tough play at third. Reynolds charges, barehand throw in the dirt, and it gets by Allen, bouncing up into the stands. So Belliard will be called back to third, I believe. Yep. And down to second base goes Martin. Joe Torre is going to come out and argue with third base umpire Gary Darling. So Joe just getting the rules straight. So it'll be, I believe, an infield single and then a throwing error. Barehanded by Reynolds, a bounce that got by Allen, and it is 1-1. So Martin, an infield single, takes second on the error, and Belliard has to hold at third. And the batter now is John Garland, and he takes a strike. So the Dodgers not exactly wearing the cover off the ball. Loney slapped a single to left. Wild pitch put him to second. Belliard breaks his bat and gets a base hit and a run batted in. And Martin dribbles one to third for a hit. Garland fouls it back, and the count 0-2. With Arizona, John had a half a dozen hits, all singles, had 1 run batted in, and struck out almost half the time. Second and third, 2 out. And the strike 2 pitch from Buckner, swung on, ground ball, kicks foul. So back to the plate comes Garland, and the runners retreat. Belliard goes back to third, Martin to second. We have a 1-1 tie here in the second inning. San Diego will be in here starting tomorrow night. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday at 5. And Friday night, Clayton Kershaw, who has certainly been outstanding for the Dodgers. Kershaw will go up against Wade LeBlanc, a left-handed. Saturday night, Randy Wolf against Matt Latos. And then we'll see about Sunday. It might very well be Hiroki Kuroda. So Kershaw chewing on his gum. Same for Repko, same for Kuroda, same for Billingsley, which is a heck of a better idea than chewing tobacco. That is one of the better things that has happened as the years have gone by in this game. Strike 2 pitch on the way, waved at, missed, dropped by Montero, picks it up, throws to first, and that's the inning. So 2 strikeouts in the inning, but the Dodgers get 3 hits and an error for 1, and at the end of 2, a 1-1 tie. Orange in the sky as we go to the 3rd inning. Nancy B. Heffley is so subtle. We've been talking about the first 2 innings. Garland had a double play in each inning to get out of a big jam, and the Dodgers had a broken bat, a squibber, an error, and got a run in the 2nd inning, and she serenaded the crowd with the theme from Mr. Lucky. Well, we'll see about the 3rd inning. Someone once said, I'd rather be lucky than good. Billy Buckner will start it off. Then it'll be Stephen Drew and Ryan Roberts. Buckner, right-hand batter, takes a strike. Buckner has 1 hit. It's a double, but he's only had 6 at-bats. Garland turns. Now John strike 1 pitch, down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Padres here for 3. Then the Dodgers go to Arizona, and then the confrontation with San Francisco. The 1-1 pitch, a strike, 1 and 2. And the confrontation would mean, among other things, so many different angles, Brad Penny pitching for the Giants against the Dodgers. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way to Buckner. Comebacker. Garland picks it up, runs over towards first, flips it for the out. 1 away. Talking about the Giants, they ran into a Pedro Martinez of 10 years ago. Pedro calls himself the old goat, and the old goat outpitched the young stud. The young stud would be Tim Lincecum, and it was a 2-1 Phillies victory over the Giants. Martinez, a 3-time Cy Young Award, struck out 9 in 7 innings. Leadoff man Stephen Drew takes in the dirt, ball 1. Lincecum, who's absolutely brilliant and the Cy Young winner last year, all he did was strike out 11 in 7 innings. But the Phillies won it 2-1. 1-0 pitch on the way. And that swung on in a high fly ball to right center field. Matt Kent to the track. The ball leaps in the air and the ball is gone. It hit the top of the fence and just kicked way up into the seats. So Stephen Drew foils a Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier. And for Stephen Drew, that would be his 12th home run, and the D-backs lead 2-1. Kemp charging over to the wall in right center, got to the track, leaped high in the air, and the ball hit the very top. And as it spun away into the seats, Kemp spun away in frustration. He was so angry, so near and yet so far. And out she went. And the next one is a little dumper into right field. That's a base hit for Ryan Roberts. You know that old philosophy we talk about, how the only way ball players can maintain their sanity in the course of a long year is that it all evens out? Well, Ryan Roberts hit a line drive, a leaping catch by Furcal. Now Roberts comes up and hits a little flare into right field for a base hit. So it's 2-1 in favor of the D-backs, and here's Miguel Montero. Montero walked in the first inning. Garland down 2-1, right-hander over the top, fastball low, ball one. 2 runs, 5 hits for the D-backs. Drew has scored both of them. Montero with a 7-game hitting streak walked in the first inning. He has 13 home runs. And after Montero talking about home runs, you have Mark Reynolds, who has hit 40. D-backs have a total of 146 home runs. The Dodgers as a team have 118. 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's sprayed foul off to the left upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. With San Diego coming in for the weekend, you might wonder the Dodgers have had their way with the Padres. They've beaten them 9 out of 13, including 5 out of 6 here. Padres always play you tougher in San Diego. Dodgers have won 4 and lost 3 down there, and they will eventually go to San Diego on the 29th and 30th of September. 1-1 pitch is low and inside, ball 2. 2-1. Garland made 35 pitches in the first 2 innings, bailed out. Allen hit into a double play by way of the mound in the first inning, and Romero lost a possible extra base hit as Loney took it away from him and turned it into a double play. 2-1 to Montero, who hits one foul down the left field line, back into the seats. 2-2. Montero keeps looking down at Glenn Sherlock, the third base coach. Lorenzo Bundy over to say something to Roberts. 2-2 to Miguel Montero. 1 out. 2-1 Arizona. Garland ready, set at the belt. Montero takes a strike on the inside corner, and down he goes. He wasn't happy with the call. They never are, of course. So down goes Montero. Pretty good pitch to hit that inside corner. And the batter now, Mark Reynolds. So Montero walks by Kirk Gibson and now stands behind his manager as Kirk comes up a little and looks at the watch. Mark Reynolds grounded a single to left in the first inning to drive in a run. Big free swinger, and that's what he does on the first pitch. 0-1 the count. It's amazing that Reynolds does what he does in the sense 40 home runs, 91 RBIs, because you watch him with that big long swing and you can understand why he strikes out so much. Strike one pitch on the way is foul back, so he's in that strikeout hole. No balls and 2 strikes. I guess all his life, when Reynolds played, managers shake their heads and say the same thing. Oh, if he could only cut down on his strikeouts. How many home runs would he hit? How many RBIs? Well, he's got 91 ribbies, and he's hitting .276. Garland set at the belt. The strike 2 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back. That's fastball alley, and sure enough, the gun says 93. Mark Reynolds drove in a run, trying to get another. He's out of Pikeville, Kentucky, and went to school at the University of Virginia. Dodgers really stopped him all year. Here's the strike 2 pitch to Mark. Garland delivers down and dirty. Nice play for Martin, and they'll put a new ball in play. When we say they stopped him, he was hitting 152 against the Dodgers until he got that base hit in the first inning. He is 2 for 14 in the series, and he has never done well here at Dodger Stadium. In his career, into last night, he was hitting 176 here. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mark Reynolds, hitting just 176 in his last 9 road games, but he's still got a base hit to drive in a run in the first inning. Garland delivers, and it is swung on and missed. So for Reynolds, another ho-hum at bat. He has struck out 182 times, but for Stephen Drew, a home run, and it's 2-1 Arizona. In the series, but tonight he led off with a single and scored a run and homered in the third to give the D-backs a 2-1 lead. And into the bottom of the third we go with Rafael Furcal. Billy Buckner ready. Furcal runs up in the box, takes outside, ball 1. Rafael, an old-fashioned player. He's moving around in the box more, I think, than anybody around. Oh, not Ichiro. The 1-0 pitch, and that's taken for a strike. 1-1. Some fellas fake a bunt just to keep the infield on the edge, but Rafael will run up as well. Sometimes drag, sometimes hit it towards the shortstop. He takes a breaking ball low, ball 2, 2-1. Furcal last night had a drag bunt single up along first. Buckner into the windup. Billy's 2-1 pitch is swung on line to center, but Young is right there to make the catch. So Furcal hits it hard, lines out, and we have 1 out in the third inning. And the batter, Matt Kemp. Dodgers have played 134 games. This is 135. So there will be 27 games left. As they taught you at an early age, time is fleeting. And Buckner delivers, ground ball wide to third, diving stop by Reynolds, gets up and throws him out. Nice play by Mark Reynolds, who has come a long way. He set a record at third base with 35 errors, but he has improved dramatically. Reynolds so far this year has committed 21 errors, but that was a dandy. So 2 out. That'll bring up Andre Ethier, fly to left field in the first inning. Andre hitting .284, 27 home runs, 88 runs batted in. As we said, he went the other way, meaning to the left side, 3 times successfully last night, but flied to left field first at bat tonight, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Ethier in his last 20 games hitting .367. Strike 1 pitch, inside and up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Andre with his 5 walk-offs. Waiting now on Buckner, who goes and turns, and the 1-1 pitch inside and hits him on the right leg. So Andre Ethier is hit by the pitch. That would be the 11th time that he's been hit by a pitch this year. 11. That is far and away the most on the Dodger club. Tried to get away and took it on the back of the right leg. So after the diving stop by Reynolds, Ethier is hit by the pitch, and that brings up Manny Ramirez, who popped up to shortstop in the second inning. Manny had a base hit to drive in the only Dodger run last night, and promptly lifts one foul off first out of play, and the count 0-1. So Ramirez 0 for 1 tonight. Manny is 3 for 13 in the series. Manny back up and waiting. .304 batting average, 15 home runs, 50 runs batted in. 2-1 Arizona. Buckner delivers and drops it in there nicely for a strike, and the count 0-2. So Ramirez backs out for the moment. Ethier standing at first. Has stolen 6 out of 9, but they certainly want to give Manny his at-bat without gambling on the bases. No balls, 2 strikes. Buckner comes back off the plate. Ball 1. Ramirez, in about 340 plate appearances, has struck out 62 times. Not bad considering a power hitter. 1-2. And there goes Ethier. Buckner turns, throws offline, and the tag is made anyway by Ryan Roberts. The throw was on the left side of the bag, and Roberts made a wonderful play to go across and get it. So scratch my philosophy that the Dodgers are not going to gamble on the base paths to make sure that Ramirez gets an at-bat. Oh, yeah? Nice call, Scully. Ethier's out, and at the end of 3, 4 hits in the 90s. Do you have any idea who leads this decade? Well, we'll give you the answer in a while. There's Mark. Classic first baseman, left-hand hitter, fine hitter, never wore a batting glove. That's one of the things you remember about him. Meanwhile, a strike to Brandon Allen, who hit back to the box, and it was turned into a double play in the first inning. 1-1. Red Barber, bless his soul, when he was absolutely shocked, he had an expression, well, I'll be a suck egg mule. Now, I can't use that because that's not from the streets of New York. I also have no idea what a suck egg mule is. But he would have used it on that Ethia play with Manny at the plate. Ryan Roberts making that tag. Meanwhile, Ethier had his own particular reasons, and we have one out in the 4th inning. Gerardo Parra single to center in the 2nd inning. D-backs 2 runs, 5 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits. Dodgers pull up the corners on Parra. He runs pretty well. Fouled away. 0-1. Parra, when you sit in the stands and look at him, he doesn't look 6 feet tall. He's well built, about 195. And a little roller to Loney. And just like that, 2 down. 2-1 Arizona, top of the 4th inning. And Chris Young coming up.
Center fielder, number 24, Chris Young.
Young struck out in the 2nd inning. That must be so disillusioning to have the year that Chris Young had, then suddenly wind up in Reno, tear up AAA, call back here to the big leagues, and go 1 for 9. Young did not play last night, struck out twice the night before, and struck out 3 times the night before that. So he struck out 6 times in the 3 games he's played since being called up. And he has a 2-strike count on him now. Of course, one thing, Chris had that big year, and he has to keep telling himself, I can still do it. I've done it. Two and 2. 2 runs, 5 hits for the D-backs, 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. John Garland and Billy Buckner. Chased it. So Young strikes out again. And at the end of 3.5 innings, D-backs 2, Dodgers 1. The menu any time of the day. And by Mazda's summer drive-off event. Drive off with the best deals of the summer on a fun-to-drive Mazda. We're heading for the bottom of the fourth inning. Arizona trying to beat the Dodgers 3 out of 4, lead 2-1. Manny Ramirez, who was left at the plate when Andre Ethier tried to steal second. Andre thought he would get Buckner napping, and it didn't work. So Ramirez had an 0-2 count when Andre took off, and that's a strike. 0-1. Well, thanks to Rob Menchel, Boyd Robertson, Brian Hagan, we always come up with something for you. And right now we're going to come up with a towering smash to center. Young climbing the wall, watching it go out. So Manny hits his 16th and his 51st RBI to tie up the game. Big hug from Jim Thome. Well, Manny putting on a show on and off the field. Boy, that was a towering smash. Strike now to Casey Blake. Been a little while coming, but it sure felt good, I'm sure. Blake, a shot down the left field line. And Casey is on his way to second base. Parra will get the ball back into Stephen Drew. Take another look at Manny's home run. I mean, it was a rocket right out over the plate. A mile high, and it's going to wind up on the black tarp in center field, right up there. Remember a home run, I think Mark McGwire hit it. It hit a center field camera in that exact same location. And those are the big numbers, 543. So he's 5 behind Mike Schmidt, 20 behind Reggie, and 21 behind Thome, who was his teammate at Cleveland. Okay, Mel Stottlemyre Jr. went out to console Billy Buckner. Home run double. And the batting out, James Loney. 2-2 in the fourth. Ball one. Rob Menchel went on Google, I guess, to look up suck egg mule. And first it says an irritating, worthless liability, literally a mule that eats your eggs. Well, okay. Loney singled, went to second on a wild pitch, scored on a base hit, made a wonderful play to take a possible extra base hit and a runaway from Romero and turn it into a double play. And he promptly bangs it foul down the line. 1-1. For Billy Buckner, who has only been in 11 games, 7 starts, that would be the 11th home run that he has given up. So Blake at second, nobody out. It really brings back Ethier trying to steal second base with Manny at the plate, huh? Andre had his reasons and lost, and then Manny comes up the next inning and bombs one. 1-2. Buckner came in with a record of 2-5. But he pitched very well against the Dodgers the one time they saw him this year. Went 6 innings and shut him out. Blake looking for a ride home. Nobody out. Two and two. Memboloni on a 2-strike pitch got a ball away and slapped it into left field. On deck, Ronnie Belliard. Ball 3. Buckner was not making a lot of pitches. A.J. Hinch watching him so very carefully. He had made 45 pitches in the first 3 innings. Now he's been burned twice. Home run by Ramirez and the double by Blake. 3 and 2 to Loney. Time. 84 degrees last night, 86 degrees tonight, and a little more humidity, I think. And that's pulled. Tagging up is Blake, and the catch by Romero. There goes Casey to third. He is in there. I tell you one thing, Romero made a good throw, but Upton probably would have gotten him. Justin Upton has a great arm, but Upton can't play. He's got problems with his contact lenses. I mean, it was a good throw without a doubt right there, but I think Upton has more velocity. And all Upton can do is walk around in the dugout thinking, I wish I had had that play. So Loney a fly ball to right. Blake is now at third with 1 out. The infield has to play up. Ball 1 to Ronnie Belliard. Belliard broke his bat and flared a single to center in the 2nd inning to drive in a run. Line drive, base hit. So the Dodgers, for the first time tonight, take a lead 3-2. So Casey, a nice bit of hitting and then a nice bit of base running. And for the Diamondbacks, they saw a 1-0 lead dissipate immediately. A 2-1 lead has not only disappeared, they're now trailing 3-2. And for Bill Buckner, it's a long way from Reno. And now Russell Martin. Oh and 1. So Manny tied it up. Blake and Belliard combined to put the Dodgers out in front. And remember, both Colorado and San Francisco lost. So a Dodger victory tonight, they would lead the Rockies by 5.5 and the Giants by 6.5. 1-1. So the Dodgers for well over a month might be spinning their wheels, but they're spinning their wheels in first place. Ball 2. Buckner is due to bat second when the D-backs come up in the 5th inning. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits for Arizona. Slider hit to third. Reynolds down to Roberts, who turns it. So the Dodgers turned 2 double plays against the D-backs. They returned the favor, but they couldn't erase the home run, nor could they get rid of the double. And for Manny Ramirez, he hits it out, and the Dodgers lead 3-2. with Hankook Tires. Manny Ramirez put a big grin on his face, putting the Dodgers in a tie, and then Casey Blake doubled and Belliard singled him in to give the Dodgers the lead. So 3-2 Dodgers, fifth inning. It'll be Alex Romero, Billy Buckner, to be followed by Stephen Drew. Romero hit what might have been an extra base hit, and a wonderful play by James Loney turned it into a double play. Alex put up big numbers in AAA. Strike. Three runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits for the D-backs. Fifth inning. 1-1. Garland retired the side in order in the fourth inning. Off speed, little curveball for a strike. 1-2. Fastball whacked down the line. Foul. Boy, did he hit that thing. Immediately, Russell Martin going out to talk to Garland. Let's not have that happen again. One ball and 2 strikes. You would certainly figure that a catcher calls the game for the pitcher, but if anybody knows the Arizona hitters, you would certainly think it's John Garland. Of course, Martin has called a lot of games against them, but Garland was with them. And it's a subject we've always talked about in the past. That's going to be a little flare right to for call. The subject being that pitchers on one team not only scout the opposition, they scout their teammates, because they know sooner or later they're probably going to be pitching against some of them. So when you see fellas in the dugout staring intently at the game, they're not only watching the other team, they're watching their own hitters. Buckner hit back to the box in the third inning. It's 3-2 Dodgers in the fifth. 0-2. D-backs led 1-0. Dodgers tied. D-backs led 2-1. Dodgers scored twice and lead 3-2. Slap to Loney. 2 out. Remember the trivia question we gave it just a little while ago about the fact that Mark Grace led the majors in the 90s. Who leads this decade with hits? And the answer, Ichiro Suzuki, a young man on the move, getting close to 2,000 hits. If you wonder about the Dodgers in this decade, Shawn Green tops the list. Shawn had 842 hits. He also leads in home runs with 162. Ground ball to Belliard, and a nice easy inning for Garland, who has now retired 8 in a row and starting to feel at home. And at the end of 4.5, 3 Dodgers' turn in the bottom of the 5th inning. John Garland has settled in nicely now and retired the last 8 in a row. Having a little quiet chat with Miguel Montero. Garland struck out in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Strike. Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night against San Diego. Strike. Clayton had really been something watching him develop. Earned run average less than 3. Strikeout to walk ratio 2 to 1. Meanwhile, Garland walks away empty-handed. You know, tomorrow night, Dodgers celebrate Military Appreciation Night with fireworks presented by Farmer John and an All-American My Town with unlimited food and a free Dodgertown USA t-shirt. So for tickets, visit Dodgers.com/sit-in-my-town or call 866-DODGERS. One away, here's Furcall. Slaps that bunt. Here comes Reynolds on the run. Throws him out. Nice Statue of Liberty there by Brandon Allen. Reynolds' fastball almost sailed over the first baseman's head. There's that bunt. Here comes Reynolds. Ball sails. Allen does a fine job. 2 down in the 5th inning. And the batter is Matt Kemp. Kemp grounded to short. Thrown out on a close play by Mark Reynolds after Reynolds diving at a ball to his left. Got up and nailed him. And then, of course, Kemp was really frustrated, just missing the home run by Stephen Drew. Two and 0 they count to Matt. When the D-backs come up in the 6th inning, they'll have Roberts, Montero, and Reynolds. Ball 3. On deck, Andre Ethier. And a 3-0 pitch is a broken bat and an out at first. That's something to see a guy break his bat on a 3-0 pitch. And at the end of 5, Dodgers 3, D-backs 2. He had missed 2 games with the flu. Then he started today, and he played 1,207 games without a break until he dislocated his thumb in the first game of a doubleheader. Of course, Cal Ripken, 26-32, but Garvey's National League record still holds up. Let's go back to this one. 0-1 the count. Big swing to come up empty for Ryan Roberts. Lost a base hit on a leaping catch by Furcal, and then got a bloop single in the third inning. Ryan batting .294, 6 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Ball one. John Garland with a string now. Since Roberts flared to right field, he's retired 8 in a row. Now it's 9. Five strikeouts for Garland. 1 walk. That was in the first inning. And the batter, Miguel Montero, who got that walk and then last time up struck out. Montero batting .295 and ball one. Garland came in with a record of 8-11. Montero with 13 home runs and a little ground ball. Belliard out on the grass to get him. So 2 away in the 6th inning. Mark Reynolds singled to left to drive in a run and struck out. 10 in a row retired by John Garland. Off the plate. Reynolds went to the University of Virginia, played on an infield that featured among others Ryan Zimmerman. Fouled away. 1-1. For Mark, he has played for USA Baseball 6 different events. Team USA in Cuba, qualifying tournament in Havana. 1 ball and 1 strike. 26 years old. And another foul ball. D-backs were fortunate. They had Chad Tracy playing third, and then Tracy had bad troubles with his knees. Called up Reynolds, and he's become a fixture. Excellent right-hand power. There's Chad Tracy, who might have had a marvelous career except for the knees. Tough break. Well, Reynolds strikes out. That is not exactly news. 11 in a row retired by Garland, and at the end of 5.5 innings, 3-2 Dodgers. For Drew, the home run at the time put the D-backs out in front. But the Dodgers turned that around. So it's 3-2 Dodgers. And it'll be Ethier, Ramirez, and Blake in that order against Billy Buckner. Andre flied to left, hit by a pitch, and was thrown out trying to steal. That drops in nicely for a strike. That's that knuckle curve. 0-1. And that's popped in the air foul. Reynolds coming over. Doubtful. Out of play. Oh, what a kangaroo bounce that was. More like a golf ball. Ethier hit on the leg for the 11th time this year. Missed at the plate. Missed by Ethier. Montero looking for an angle to throw him out. Some things never change. What is old is new again. Case in point, 1995. Manny Ramirez, a home run. Who's on deck? Jim Thome. They were 23 and 25. Tonight, 2009. Manny unloads over the center field wall. Who's the first to greet him? Jim Thome. Teammates again put them together. You have over 1,000 home runs. And here's Manny, 1 for 2. Ball 1. Ramirez hitting .306. 16 home runs, 51 runs batted in. There are the active hitters. You look at Ken Griffey Jr. 625 home runs. Had he been healthy throughout his career, and that is such a gift. Had Griffey been healthy, I have no idea how many home runs he would have hit. But I really believe he certainly would have hit as many as Barry Bonds. 3-0. Well, he's hot, so Torrey might green light him. It's up to him. 3-0. Give it a ride. If he likes the location. Down and on the outside corner. No way he's going to swing at that. In fact, I think Manny thought it might have been ball 4. There's ball 4. So Buckner, a wise man, after giving up that towering home run, he walks Ramirez. And here's Casey. Blake struck out and then doubled in the 4th inning on the heels of Ramirez home run. Dodgers 3, D-backs 2, bottom of the 6th. Fastball strike. When the D-backs come up in the 7th, they'll have Brandon Allen, Gerardo Parra, and Chris Young. One and one. To repeat, Colorado and San Francisco lost. A Dodger victory, they would push Colorado back 5.5 and the Giants back 6.5. Giant game had to really be a heartbreaker. Ground ball into left field. Manny goes to second and holds on. So with 1 out, the Dodgers have first and second, and the batter will be James Loney. Meanwhile, Mel Stottlemyre on the phone. Get some activity. They're moving the furniture around in the D-back bullpen. James Loney single to left and fly to right. Buckner fighting to stay in the game, down 3-2. 2 on, 1 out. Leo Rosales, a right-hander, begins to throw in the pen. That's a strike. A moment ago, we were talking about the tough game the Giants lost. Tim Lincecum struck out 11, and they lost 2-1 to the old goat, as he calls himself, Pedro Martinez. And then Colorado not only lost, but they had bad news. Their great closer, Houston Street, who was 33 out of 34, I believe. Street with tendinitis and was going to undergo an MRI. If they lose Street, their #1 closer, they're really in trouble. Line drive to center. Young waits, makes the catch. Manny will stop at third, and the throw cut off at second base. So with 1 out in the 4th inning, the Dodgers suddenly go after Buckner and load the bases. Dodgers 3 runs, 8 hits, with a chance to break it open. Stottlemyre's gone out to the mound to talk, so Ronnie Belliard, who is 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in, out on deck. Belliard was 1 for 9. That one was a home run, though with 2 hits tonight, he's perked up even more. Dodgers have Ramirez at third, Blake at second, Loney at first, and Belliard and Martin back to back. For Buckner, he is due to bat 5th when the D-backs hit in the 7th inning. And of course, let's face it, the Buckners and the D-backs are not going anywhere except home. They're 18 games back of the Dodgers, so no chance for any postseason play. And although they want to win every game if they can, they also want to see what some of the young players can do, and they're watching Buckner now in a big test. 0-1 to Belliard. Ronnie overall hitting .253. Three slams, one this year against the Nationals. Squirted foul, 0-2. A little while ago was August the 22nd when Belliard hit the grand slam. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's a career .274 hitter who has 12 years in the big leagues. Ball 1. Infield back in double play depth, with the exception of the first baseman, Brandon Allen. He's in front of Loney. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball hit to third. Reynolds down to second low. The throw to first too late. And the run scores. Though not a very good play, Mark Reynolds get his second baseman killed, and Ryan Roberts is shaken up on a legitimate hard slide by James Loney. A low throw, and then Roberts had his legs cut out from under by a hard sliding but legitimate James Loney, and Roberts is just caught, spread eagled, and then turned over. When the ball left the bat, you thought double play. Well, Roberts is okay. So the Dodgers pick up an extra run and now lead 4-2. And for Belliard, that is his 3rd run batted in, and a handshake from James Loney, who broke up the DP. So Russell Martin coming up with runners at first and third. Casey Blake down the line from third. Ronnie Belliard away from first. Martin had an infield single in the second inning and hit into a double play. Montero reminding everybody 2 out. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits for the D-backs. Ball 1. Dodgers trying to get a split with the D-backs in the 4-game series and pick up a game. Big bouncer foul outside of third. 1-1. For A.J. Hinch, he'd like to see his young right-hander get out of the inning. He is due to bat 5th. A.J. has the left-hander Clay Zavada and the right-hander Leo Rosales in the pen. 1-1. Ball 2. Fastball missing. Four runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits for the D-backs. Dodgers trying to make it 9 out of 15. Breaking ball, chopper back to the mound, and that'll be that. So Martin hits a hopper back to the box, but the Dodgers get a run thanks to a breakup slide by James Loney. And at the end of 6, 4-2 Dodgers. James Loney's base hit loaded the bases, and then it was Loney's slide on the ball hit by Belliard to give the Dodgers the extra run. So they take the field here in the 7th inning, leading 4-2. John Garland rolling along in fine style after a very shaky start. He has retired 11 in a row. The last base hit by the Diamondbacks was Ryan Roberts back in the 3rd inning, and that was just a flare single to right field. So Brandon Allen coming up 0 for 2, hit back to the box for a double play and grounded to second. Garland, by the way, has had 10 ground ball outs, only 2 outs in the air, and they were both to Rafael Furcal. He's had only 2 3-ball counts, and then he had the walk. And he's made 84 pitches through 6 innings. Strike. Dodgers have doubled their pleasure in the National League West. They are 36-18. 2-1. Dodgers have 15 games left with Western Division teams. Three and 1 the count to Brandon Allen. And a strike. Brandon hitting .231, 2 home runs, hit 1 here, 7 runs batted in. His home run last night against Chad Billingsley, and it landed in the walkway in the right field pavilion. It was Billingsley's first pitch to him. He was all over it. Chad struggling last night after starting out a perfect 4 innings. Ground ball to Furcall. 1 away in the 7th inning. You know, there's just 3 Sundays in the sun remaining this season at Bleacher Beach. This week you can enjoy unlimited barbecue fresh off the grill, Dodger beach towel, a private beach party presented by Bud Light. To purchase tickets, visit Dodgers.com/beach or call 866-DODGERS. See you Sunday. Ball 1. I was just thinking, a day at the beach. Sunday's a 5 o'clock game. So a day at the beach watching the sunset. 1 ball and 1 strike. In old Crosley Field in Cincinnati, they had a bleachers in right field, and if they played a day game, they called it the sun deck, and then if they played a night game, they just turned the sign around and said the moon deck. Comebacker. So that'll do it for Gerardo Parra. 13 in a row retired by John Garland, and the batter will be Chris Young. Chris Young has struck out 7 times in the 3 games he has played in the series, having just been called up from Reno. Boy, that's got to be discouraging. Ball 1. Chris out of Houston, Texas. Remember the story? He played against James Loney in high school in the championship game. 2-0 the count. D-backs unable to use the highly talented right fielder Justin Upton tonight. That's popped in the air. It's Martin and Loney. It will be whom? It will be a collision is what it'll be. I always figure it's the pitcher's fault. I mean, John Garland has absolutely nothing to do except go over and direct traffic. But Garland, like the folks in the ballpark, was a spectator. It's 4-2 Dodgers, and the crowd now will stand and sing "God Bless America." Dodgers holding on to a 4-2 lead. John Garland has made 97 pitches. He's had 12 ground ball outs and he has retired 14 in a row. The last hit for Arizona was a flare single to right by Ryan Roberts, so he'd really been something. Meanwhile, down 4-2, the D-backs change pitchers. They'll bring in Kevin Mulvey, and the Dodgers now will have Juan Pierre bat for John Garland. So Mulvey, who just joined up, he was claimed off waivers from Minnesota the other day, and here he is. Kevin's first pitch, he starts off with a strike to Pierre. Juan Pierre hitting .322. He has a dozen hits coming off the bench. Mark Loretta has 13. 0-1. Sprayed foul down the line. So for John Garland, he deserves a Garland, making 97 pitches in a very strong 7 innings. Little trouble in the first couple of innings, perhaps getting squared away on the mound, fighting a few butterflies maybe, but boy did he kick it into gear in the 3rd inning. 0-2 the count. Foul back. So the Dodgers have gotten 2 encouraging performances from Vicente Padilla. Now they get a big lift from John Garland. I think we will see Hiroki Kuroda on Sunday. So the Dodger pitching staff perhaps getting quite a boost with the acquisitions. 0-2 to Pierre. And he whacks it to center, but Young is there. 1 away. Down in the Dodger bullpen, left-hander George Sherrill loosening up. Rafael for call. 0 for 3, grounded to second, lined out to center, and was thrown out trying to bunt his way aboard in the 5th. Rafael hitting .254. On deck, Matt Kemp. Fastball strike, 0-1. Kelvin Mulvey is just really starting out. He made his big league debut the end of July. He was originally a 2nd-round pick by the Mets 3 years ago. 1-1. Interesting, the name Mulvey was a very important name back in the Brooklyn days. Jim Mulvey was a stockholder. He was the president of Goldwyn Pictures. Deary Mulvey, the mother of Jim's wife, goes way back with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And Mulvey married Ralph Branca, the pitcher who gave up a home run to Bobby Thompson that everybody remembers. 1-2. 2-2. Kevin Mulvey. Two years ago, he was the Mets minor league pitcher of the year. Rafael still there, 2 balls and 2 strikes. One out, 7th inning, 4-2 Dodgers. And that's lifted to right field, very playable. Romero is there. 2 down in the 7th inning, and Matt Kemp will be coming up. Rafael goes 0 for 4. Romero followed by Mulvey and Drew. They'll be due up in the 8th inning. Ball one. Dodgers 4 runs, 8 hits. D-backs 2 runs, 5 hits. Fastball fouled away. 1-1 the count. To repeat, tomorrow night, the Dodgers and the Padres. Dodgers have beaten the Padres 5 out of 6 here, 9 for 13, and Clayton Kershaw will be on the mound. 1-1. Fastball for a strike. 1-2. Kevin Mulvey attended Villanova University, pitched for the Wildcats. And that will do it for Matt Kemp. So a nice inning for Kevin Mulvey as he walks off, and at the end of 7, Dodgers 4, D-backs 2. The nation's fastest 3G network, AT&T, your world delivered. Dodgers take a 4-2 lead into the 8th inning. George Sherrill comes out of the bullpen to pick up for John Garland. And for the D-backs, it'll be Rusty Ryle, and then we'll have to wait and see about a hitter for Mulvey. Justin Upton came out on deck. Remember, Upton could not start the game. He had a problem with his contact lenses, but apparently they have solved that problem. So Ryle will bat for Romero, and here comes Upton to bat for Mulvey. Rusty Ryle, we certainly don't mean to brand him with it, but he was the fella who hit that line drive that hit Kuroda in the head, and we're happy to say Kuroda is well, and I think will start Sunday. 0-1 the count. Ryle, a chip off the old block. His dad played in the big leagues. Rusty 2 for 6 in the series, and he has hit in 4 straight. 0-1. 0-2. So George Sherrill, who has done such great work and then surrendered that 1 home run to shatter a perfect world. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sherrill has been so tough on left-handers. They're batting just 119 against him. Allowed 1 run in 17 innings. Two balls and 2 strikes. They count to Rusty Ryle out of Ponca City, Oklahoma. Went to school at Oklahoma State. His dad played for 5 teams over 6 years in the big leagues. Foul back. His dad had a 14-year professional career. 2-2. Rusty batting .313. He has 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in. Breaking ball, 3-2 the count. Sherrill, in his last 24 games, has an earned run average of 1.1. And Ryle going after a foul ball with the fastball, so it's still 3-2. And a fly ball to left field. Manny Ramirez is there. So 1 away here in the 8th inning, and Justin Upton will come up. All we know is just before the game started, there was a complete shakeup in the Arizona lineup because Upton had to come out, and they reported contact lens difficulty. But now here he is, and they've certainly missed him tonight. He was 6 for 14 during the series. Boy, I'll tell you one thing, I've been cutting the microphone a couple of times. The smell of smoke, amazing. And we all smell it in the booth. And a drive into the gap in right center. So Upton, they sure missed him, but here he is coming late in the game with a pinch double into the gap. So Upton is 7 for 15 in this series. He is quite a young player. When you see an Arizona Dodger game and you look at players like Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, Justin Upton, you are looking at the cream of the crop. So now Stephen Drew, and remember that Sherrill just eats up left-hand batters like that. 0-1. Drew did not play against Randy Wolf. Oh, 0-1. Fastball in there. Drew singled and scored a run in the first inning, homered in the third, and grounded out. Upton at second, slow and high, 1-2. Well, God bless those firemen. Curveball, and he pulls it down to Loney. Sherrill late covering, but Loney has the play. So Upton moves over to third with 2 out. And Ryan Roberts will be coming up as another left-hand hitter bites the dust against George Sherrill.
Second baseman, Ryan Roberts.
Ryan Roberts lined out to short, singled to right, and struck out. That line drive was a key in the first inning because that's when John Garland was struggling. He had given up a single to Drew. The leaping catch by Furcal was an out, but then he walked Montero. Then Reynolds singled. So if Roberts' ball had gone through, it would have been more than a 1-run first inning. So that was a huge play. In the dirt, ball 1. Sherrill with a runner at third. Look it up. He has one wild pitch. Fastball is high. On deck, a left-hand hitter, Miguel Montero, the catcher. 2-0 the count. Curveball for a strike. 2-1. Roberts lined out. Then he had that flare single to right and struck out. After Roberts' single in the third, D-backs without a hit until Upton doubled here in the 8th. Ground ball to Furcal, who winds up and throws him out. So they waste the 1-out double by Justin Upton, and we head for the bottom of the 8th inning. Dodgers 4, D-backs 2. Of the 8th inning, several changes. Brian Augenstein comes in along with Justin Upton. So Upton appeared batting 9th, doubled, and stays in the game in right field. Rusty Ryle, who pinch hit for Romero, stays in the game at second base. And Brian Augenstein, right-hander, on the heels of Mulvey and Buckner. Augenstein, or maybe it's Stein, Augenstein. They pronounce it Steen, but the EI usually means Stein. So Brian ready to work to the Dodgers, and that'll be Ethier, Ramirez, and Blake. Andre Ethier is 0 for 2. Ground foul. Well, in checking with Arizona, he pronounces it Steen, so we will certainly go along with that. Brian Augenstein. And a high drive into left center, and the dead run as Parra reaches up and makes the play. Nice catch by Gerardo, who has done very well defensively out there, covering a lot of ground throughout the series. One down, and Manny Ramirez coming up. Manny popped to short. He was left at the plate when Andre Ethier tried to steal with 2 out in the 3rd. So then leading off in the 4th, he hit a home run. And then last time up walked and scored a run. Augenstein is a big fella. He is 6'6", about 230. Out of Sebastian, Florida, not too far from Vero Beach. 7th round pick by Arizona in 2007. He's really just starting out. Went to the University of Florida. Just turned 23. Manny hitting .306. He has 16 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Fastball hit to right field and deep. Back goes Utley at the wall. So Manny and out to right, 2 down. Casey Blake will be coming up, and down in the Dodger bullpen, Jonathan Broxton loosening up. Dodgers don't want to let a golden opportunity get away. Colorado and San Francisco each lost today. So a Dodger victory, they would be 5.5 in front of Colorado, 6.5 in front of San Francisco. They still have 6 games left with the Giants there and here, and 3 left with the Rockies here at the very end of the year. 0-1 to Blake. Casey struck out, double, single, scored 1. Brian Augenstein just came up. He joined the club yesterday. The first time we've seen him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Just missed. By tucking the pants in at the knees, it makes him appear even taller than 6'6". Fastball for ball 3. He was a starting pitcher at Mobile, Double-A. That's a strike. But again, Arizona not going anywhere. So every game is not just a mere exercise. They can be spoilers. And they have a chance to take a look at some of the young players, and that's what Stottlemyre and Hinch are doing. Scrambling stop by Reynolds, no play. So Mark did well to get the glove on the ball, but could not pull himself together, and it'll go as a base hit for Blake. Nice backhand effort, then it gets away, no play. So a 2-out runner at first, and the batter is Loney. Be a base hit, so Casey Blake has 3 hits tonight. Loney singled to left and scored, flied to right, singled to center, and broke up a double play to give the Dodgers a big run in the 6th inning. Chopper to Ryle, and that'll be that. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. And Jonathan Broxton getting ready. We're heading for the 9th. Comes off the bench, having been called up, and he'll take over from Manny in left field, entering the game with Jonathan Broxton. So if you're keeping score, Broxton would go in Ramirez's spot. Repko would bat ninth, which means he would be hitting third if there is a bottom of the ninth inning. Jonathan Broxton, the fifth Dodger ever to win 30, joining some great names: Eric Gagne, Todd Worrell, Jeff Shaw, and Takashi Saito, picking up for George Sherrill, who made his contributions and made 18 pitches. But the big story tonight would certainly be John Garland, the local boy who changed uniforms from Arizona to Los Angeles and then went out and pitched a gem. 7 innings, allowing just 2 runs, 5 hits, and at one stage retired 14 in a row. So in the ninth inning, Montero, Reynolds, and Allen. And a strike. Montero tonight walked in the first inning, struck out in the third, grounded out in the sixth, hitting .294. Montero had been 1 for 8 with a home run against Broxton. 1 ball, 1 strike. Broxton pitched the ninth inning of the 4-3 Dodger victory. He did not face Montero. One and 1. 1 and 2. Broxton also pitched the ninth inning of the 10-inning loss the Dodgers suffered, 5-3. Big John retired the side in order in that game. So the numbers hold up. Montero 1 for 8, home run, struck out 3 times against Broxton. Fastball hit upstairs. Caracas, Venezuela has produced a 26-year-old catcher who's doing very well for Arizona, Miguel Montero. Dodgers and the D-backs don't say goodbye tonight. They'll be looking at each other starting Monday. 3 left with the D-backs in Arizona. So the heat here is just boot camp for when we go over to Phoenix. Fastball hit to the hole. Back to get it for call. The off-balance throw, not in time. Not much Rafael could do. Shading way over to his left with a left-hand hitter, trying to go back and get it, and Montero turns it into a single. So Mark Reynolds, the kind of a guy who could tie it up with one swing, coming up. And let's see about Broxton versus Reynolds. Reynolds is 2 for 6 against Broxton, and one of the 2 hits a home run. However, being Reynolds, he has struck out 4 of the 6 at bats against Broxton. And a mile-high foul ball. Looked like it was going to go out of the ballpark. 0-1 to count. Two for 16 in the series, and one of the 2 hits in the first inning tonight to drive in a run. Montero at first, nobody out. And a big bouncer foul down the line. 0-2 the count. Wonder what the percentage is of Mark Reynolds striking out with 2 strikes on him. 0-2. One and two on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Again tomorrow night, fireworks after the Dodgers and the Padres, after Clayton Kershaw with an ERA under 3 goes to the mound. Brandon Allen waiting on deck. He's 0 for 3. Yeah, that's reducing the game to its fundamentals. Broxton winds up and throws as hard as he can. Reynolds winds up and swings as hard as he can. And Reynolds strikes out 3 more times tonight. Reynolds now has struck out 184 times. So he's got 20 more to go to tie his record of strikeouts last year. Talking a moment ago about what the percentage is when Reynolds has 2 strikes on him, about what the strikeout percentage is. That's pop foul out of play. During the series, when Reynolds had 2 strikes on him, and that was 10 times, he struck out 8 of the 10. Oh and 1. One out, 9th inning, 4-2 Dodgers. Brandon Allen, a comebacker into a double play and 2 ground balls. 0 for 3. Strike. So he's in a hole, 0 and 2. Phillies beat the Giants 2-1. Mets beat Colorado 8-3. Ah, yes. Down go Reynolds and Allen. And the batter will be Gerardo Parra. Watching the D-backs strike out, can't help but think about that the Phillies Giants game. Pedro Martinez struck out 9. Tim Lincecum struck out 11. So there were 20 Ks in that game. And here's Broxton now trying to get Parra and get this thing over with. Crowd of 45,365 on hand. There goes the runner in defensive indifference. No stolen base. Montero's at second. 0 and 1 to count to Gerardo Parra. Single to center, grounded to first, and hit back to the box. Hitting .288. One and 1. Dodgers on the edge of winning 9 of 15. But remember, when they go over to Arizona, the best they can do over there, they have split 6. And there's 3 coming up next week. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a fly ball to left field. Repko going back and picks it off. So the Dodgers scrambling against a team that came in here 19 games behind them. And the Dodgers are relieved they got a split. The Dodgers 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors.